Hi, Meenakshi. Hi, Kritika.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I didn't realize I was on mute. Hi.
Hi. So, Anjali, how do you want to proceed? Uh,
Ma'am, can you hear me? Am I audible?
I can, yes.
Good evening, ma'am. So I was thinking that maybe we can have, like, I will just give a short introduction and I'll hand it over to you, and then we can have a panel discussion. And in case anyone has questions, they can put it up in the chat, and after the discussion, we can address those if time permits.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay, ma'am, we'll start now, or do you want to wait another 2 minutes?
Let's wait for a minute or two. Is that okay, Kritika and Meenakshi? We'll just wait for a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the fourth session of the discussion forum. Today we have with us Professor Sneha Taplial, who has kindly agreed to moderate the session for us. We have two eminent panelists with us, Ms. Meenakshi ma'am and Ms. Kritika ma'am. Meenakshi ma'am is an independent researcher who explores the issues related to environmental compliances and natural resource governance for more than trained in law and has experience in researching on environmental governance and policy issues. Together, the initiative called the India Environment Matters as a response to the draft environmental impact assessment. Thank you, ma'am, both of you, for joining us for today's panel discussion. I'd like to hand it over to you, Sneha, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anjali. So now that you have a formal introduction, I'd like to introduce you to them slightly informally as well. I'm very proud to sort of state that Meenakshi is a very close friend. We did our masters together. And those of you whom I have taught, you've probably heard stories about Corbett. So before I went to Corbett, we were working for a month in National Zoological Park. So that's Delhi Zoo. And over a month every day, reaching the gates of the zoo with the animal entry booklet before the zoo would open as a part of our project work. So She and I obviously go back a long way. Meenakshi is also a specialist in coastal regulation rules. So she is the leading researcher, and if at any point in time you will interface with regulations as far as coastal zones are concerned, you will probably be reading her work in that domain. Kritika has also worked, I've recently met Kritika because we're working on a project together on the new EIA regulations. But Kritika has a law degree and she has interest in environment and development. So she's been working on land-related issues for a while now. And together, as Anjali said, Kritika and Meenakshi have been maintaining this Twitter handle as well as a repository of information about the implications of the new and updated environmental impact assessment. So here's what I thought would be a good way going forward. I'm going to let Meenakshi and Kritika give a background to environmental impact assessment rules as it was, the updated version, and their summary of the differences and where they think the lacuna is currently in the new updated version as well. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you all to ping your questions or comments in the chat box. And once they're done with their basic introduction, we'll sort of change the format into a more open conversation. And I'll take the questions, but if I think some question is really, really interesting and merits the person who's raised that question to elaborate a little more, I will call out and you can then. So is that okay,